What's that sound?
What's that sound? What's that sound? It's the MOBcast.
You can record this. You don't have to record this, but is me seeing
live.
her looking like that? She doesn't really watch these, I don't think, but oh my god, when I didn't even recognize her when she was walking down the aisle, and then I was like, holy shit, like she had all these curls, and it was beautiful. And I had to help her. Yeah, and I had to help her take the hair out at the end of the night. 56 bobby pins.
Oh, yeah.
I was just sitting there like a monkey, just like picking shit out of her hair. Oh my god.
Oh, I remember doing that
yeah.
for her Emily's sister's wedding. She did the same exact thing. Oh my gosh, yeah, they load their hair up.
Just you wait until you see how many bobby pins I have in my hair for my wedding.
I was thinking, Brad. I won't say what the picture is specifically because we are live now. But I was saying we should put that picture of you and Jordan in that one store in a PowerPoint for your wedding.
That'd be great. It'd be great.
Right for the family.
Monetizing.
It's a great store.
Family would love
Support
that.
your
That'd be
local
incredible.
businesses, people.
Alliance, Ohio, we support you.
Did anybody ever buy anything at that establishment?
I think Jordan did.
No.
Yeah,
Or did
Jordan
we just
did.
find that one thing in the roof?
For
Oh,
my
yeah, I
birthday.
did.
For my birthday. The thing.
Oh,
The
yeah,
thing with
yeah,
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
The ring toss
so-
thing, you know?
We're treading
It was
here.
so versatile. We had a lot of fun with it, all five of us.
Completely forgot where I
We
got
got
that.
so creative with the uses for that said thing.
No contact.
Initiation. Well, Nathan,
You know,
boys, what are we talking about today?
Well, I was going to say, speaking of Alliance, Ohio, I mean, we did travel
places
there
that we love.
for school in places that we love. Tonight, we are talking about traveling. The mob will talk all things travel, places we've been, places we want to go, airline travel, transportation, the works. It's going to be pretty broad, but, okay, that's a great way to start it off is we have all been to Alliance, Ohio. And personally, it holds a special place in my heart as a town and its people and its culture as well. It's just a fantastic
Nathan, you
place.
were a townie there at
You were a
at one
townie.
point.
I was a townie for a couple weeks after school when I stayed after. Even that one summer when I was technically a summer person, a summer townie, and I couldn't be more proud. Yes, Matt was too. One time we went out. I remember we went out to the Taco Bell, and the lady's like, "Why are you guys here?" We're
It was after junior year, and she was like, "Didn't you guys graduate?" And we were like, "Well, we don't have to pay for our shit."
like, well, where are your friends? We're like, they're not here right now.
School's not in.
So if that says anything
Oh
about how frequently we went there, it was often. Yeah. So
Oh, speaking of Taco Bell,
I don't think. Sorry, I was gonna say I don't think very many people can say they're on a first name basis with their local Taco Bell employees.
Oh, there it is. Would you look at that?
oh,
Fantastic.
whoa!
Oh,
I
love that.
That's a dope. shirt.
Fantastic.
That's really
I have a.
girlfriend got it for me.
I love it. Can't remember if I said
It's a good one.
I went
Keep
to the
her
Taco
around.
Bell. Facts. I went to the Taco Bell cantina in Nashville where they
Yeah,
serve.
you sent us Snapchat.
I said that. Yeah, that was an experience. I did not break the rules. I did not taint the Baja with liquor. I just got a normal Baja because my soul, my body, and more importantly, my liver needed it.
It does
But
wonders for the entire
Yeah.
body.
First off,
I will say it rejuvenated me.
I'm extremely jealous that you were able to go to one of those. Because I feel like that is a dream of mine.
2 floors.
But I can't
2
go.
floors.
2 floors. Well, I'd have to go with the mob. Like, it would be great to go there alone. I would just need the tears, at least. If
Well,
not-
we can all
not
go if we're actually gonna get together for and just absolutely destroy all the renovations that Brad's done on his house for New Year's, we could go a day earlier, something like that. There's a cantina in downtown Cleveland.
Brad,
there is. Yeah.
ready for some knives in the wall?
Ah.
No, if there's a wall to be to throw them at,
Oh no!
yeah,
Give him the chair. Give him the chair.
we're chipping away, but New Year's is starting to look pretty lofty at this point.
Well,
What?
that's super exciting, regardless.
Yeah.
And maybe we
Oh
can
no,
come in
dude!
for like
I'm sorry, that stinks.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just we're just completely gutting the house, which is fine.
damn.
It's
Brad,
gonna
I will
be
literally-
exactly how we want it. So
It's good for you guys.
I will literally, I will take all of the refuse and garbage produced from the house renovation, pile it up in the center of your floor, and light it so we can have a nice indoor bonfire in the frigid cold as we ring in the new year, like the Native Americans would have wanted.
As the
Michael,
we have
I
a balloon full of just gasoline,
Hydro-
and as soon as
hydrogen
the
and
clock
gasoline.
hits, we pop it.
Oh,
There he goes.
here goes Brad. I was going to
There it
ask him
is.
a question,
Well,
but I guess not.
Oh,
Nice,
there he goes. He's traveling in and out of the Wi-Fi because
Oh no!
the CIA agents are still after him. That's for sure.
they are. 'Cause our last conspiracy episode. Go check it out if you haven't given it a listen or watch.
Like, follow, and subscribe.
To reel it
I'm
back.
back.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
And Brad, that wasn't the original plan, right? To gut the entire thing.
Not originally until we figured out that the people that owned it before were trying to set the house on fire.
Oh,
I like insurance money.
It was just very poor electrical that was just like stuffed in the walls to like hide it. And
Yikes.
yeah.
okay.
Well, we can
I love that.
we can reel this back in. So
Sorry.
no, you're good. I love any chat's good chat. So, do you think is like the most exotic, or like one of your most favorite places you've ever visited, in the world? It can be countrywide, or beyond the borders.
I really like Seattle. I got to go there for work.
Ooh, yeah.
I went to the first ever Starbucks coffee place.
It's supposed to be lit.
How
Does it
cool?
hit
How
different?
cool is that?
It was right on the ocean, so like right where the fish market's at. I didn't get to see that because it was too late at night. I basically got done with this convention and then told my boss like, "Hey, I'm just gonna walk around the city, see where I end up." He's like, "All right, be safe." So I
That could
found,
be dangerous.
it was kind of sketchy. People were just out there doing whatever. A dude got pulled over for jaywalking when I was jaywalking right next to him, but I think he was homeless, so they were kind of just being a-holes to him. It was just two cops on bikes, but I was coming back from the Space Needle. I found an underground ping pong bar, which I didn't go into, but I really wanted to because I had to get back. Now, if you ever get a chance to go to Seattle, I thought it was really cool. That's pretty much, that's the farthest west you can almost go in the U.S. besides Alaska or Hawaii, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Was it raining?
No, it was super cloudy, and it was cool coming in on the airplane too, because like you got down to like 1,000 feet, and there was just like mountains off to the side,
Yes.
and you could just see a blanket of clouds. They just sat there the entire time I was there, pretty much.
I was gonna say, Jordan,
Never rained though.
because I have also been to Seattle. I think it was like a year or two before college. I went with my parents. It was awesome. Like, we went up to the Space Needle, and like you said, everyone said, "Did it rain?" I'm like, "No." The 2-3 days I was there, it did not rain. Just incredible. But we did go down to the fish market there. That was just a really cool sight because you just see people chucking fish and like
I didn't get to see that.
it's
I
just
was-
a
I was
cool,
mad.
cool little town habit, thing to do. But I'd highly recommend Seattle to anyone who hasn't been. I heard recently it's gotten a little bit more sketchy, but just be careful.
Well, that's good advice anywhere you go.
That's-
Full
you go to
disclosure,
downtown
any
Pittsburgh.
suggestions or places that we like, we cannot be held responsible for any damages that you or your loved ones accrue by visiting places that we have suggested.
Now we love Alliance, but don't go walking down Main Street now, okay? So,
I think my least favorite places are all cities. I'd much rather be like out in the middle of nowhere. I think people
Yeah.
scare me the most.
No,
Whoa,
I'm
yes.
kind of the same way. It's like ever since, it's the crazy thing you don't think about, but like ever since COVID, it's like I didn't like crowds before, but now I'm like I really don't like crowds. Just massive people around me. It just makes me anxious. But yeah,
I feel that, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you both on that. Like, there are some cities I think that you absolutely have to check out just because of what they are.
what are they?
But, well, New York, obviously. I've heard. I'm skeptical, but I've heard that, like, and never been, but like, big cities of California, like Los Angeles, everyone talks about it, it'd be interesting. I think probably like Rome, London, all the European cities, which are way different, I'd say, than American cities.
Yeah.
And then one of my personal favorite spots I've ever been to, fucking Dubai. Holy shit.
Oh, that would be
It is
pretty
weird.
sick.
It
Yeah,
is
tell
like-
tell the audience more about that because that's
Okay.
not a small thing. Like you went to Dubai, that's awesome.
You ever see a Ferrari police car? I have, and it's nuts. But that's like it doesn't. It looks like something from like Blade Runner crossed with I don't even know some other cyberpunk dystopia. But it's beautiful, not in that way. Like everything is like space age. Like even they have like a train that goes around. All the stations look like these big glass shell. Everything's real organic. And then if you look at the Burj Khalifa, that's the world's tallest building and like Dubai's signature. Like, okay, you look at the Empire State Building and you're like, wow, that's a tall building. Or the Space Needle even, oh, that's a tall building. But then you look at this thing, and like if all the other massive buildings are like here, it's at least double the height of every other building in the city. You don't
That's
get
crazy.
used to it. Like the observation deck is the highest in the world. And you're like just above halfway up the building. It's fucking
What
nuts.
is in the upper half?
I think it's offices and really, really, really high-end apartments and like places you can buy, but like you're not gonna. You got to
I
be
have
like
anxiety
a sheik.
just thinking about that.
Such a masterpiece of civil and structural engineering. Like that is so cool.
There's buildings there. There's one that looks like the Chrysler Building, and they're like, fuck it, and built two of them next to each other. There's a building, it starts like this and does a 90-degree twist all the way up. It's like Dr. Seuss book over there.
That's so
it's
cool.
nuts.
I gotta
but-
imagine,
Yeah,
like,
go ahead, sorry.
like with any skyscraper, like, you know how they kind of like sway back and forth? I gotta imagine, like, even with as crazy as the engineering is to build that building, I gotta imagine there's still some sort of sway being
Yeah,
as
it's
tall
like-
as it is.
Skyscrapers have sway. Yeah, they all do. It's factored into the design,
hate it.
into the foundation of everything. They have to withstand certain loads, weather loads, all those sort of different loading. People, dynamic loading, static loading. It's all designed for. But yeah, like I think there are actual videos you can see, like buildings, they move, which is weird. But
Speaking of things moving, come to Pittsburgh where you get to guess and see which bridge is going to collapse today, which has happened way more.
Or a sinkhole one day.
Oh yeah, eats a bus. All things that have
You know where
happened
that
last
doesn't
year.
happen? Cleveland.
Your rivers catch on
But your
fire.
rivers
Shut
do
up.
catch on fire. Yeah.
And
In
apparently
the
our mulch
40s
beds.
when they just threw oil on it.
No.
happens,
That
man.
happened in 1969, and it happens all the time in other cities. The only reason that anyone knows about that is because it was the same day of the moon landing. It was like, man walks on the moon. Also, Cleveland's rivers
Conspiracy.
on fire. Like,
You guys see the video of like the sidewalks and like the mulch beds just on fire the one night in Cleveland?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I did.
I was there
yeah,
I
before that
did see
happened.
that.
that's nuts.
Yeah,
What
the
was
flats were
that?
just on fire.
Yeah, just randomly.
That is so strange.
Cleveland, beautiful town. Go check it out. At least we're not Detroit, which is coming back, by the
Never
way.
been to
I was
Detroit, so I got
astounded.
nothing to say.
It's
Last time I
not.
was there, it was run down.
Well, okay, I will say, I think Emily has a friend who used to live out there. She used to work for a motor company or whatever. And she said that, like, really, there were like whole suburbs and outskirts that are just completely abandoned.
Yeah.
So it's like really kind of not dystopian, but it's just kind of strange because whole sectors kind of the city and outer city have just like disappeared. Which is kind of crazy. But
That's crazy. I have a question in regards to the Saudi area. Have you guys seen anything about the line?
I was gonna bring that up. Yes.
You
Oh,
have?
Hey,
Oh yeah.
The new
I
like
think
city
I saw
design
that.
plans.
Yeah. So there's. Is anyone not familiar with it?
explain
well,
it for the
explain
audience.
it. Explain it for those who
Okay.
do not know.
So the line, I just saw this a couple weeks ago, is a proposed building plan for a city that's 75 miles long, and I want to say like 200 meters tall or something like that. Or I don't remember how tall it was, but it's essentially one building, and all of the buildings inside of this one building are stacked on top of each other, and it's like the most futuristic thing ever. It's literally just one big skyscraper that's 75 miles long, and it's like a bunch of escalators and everything
Yeah.
to get from building to building.
And it's like completely self-sustainable
Mm-hmm.
and everything. It's basically a high rise of like neighborhoods, service, whatever you need.
Yeah, it's like each
and it's like you
district
can
has their own
drive right
school
on
and stuff.
top, and it's like a 15-minute drive or something like that to get to one end to the other because it's just that's the only road.
With
Yeah, and it's like a
high-speed
trillion. It's like a
vacuum trains.
$1 trillion build, which is insane. But I mean, like just when you watch like the whole debrief
It's
of like
whack
how
to
they're
think
doing it and
about.
like what they're applying to it, like how they're ventilating the whole city, it's absolutely nuts. Like so, it's like actually temperate and like comfortable.
Yeah.
You
They
know,
also,
you know
like,
what?
They also compared
ahead.
like what New York would look like if they adopted the same idea, and instead of like that entire area covered with like buildings and civilization, whatever, it was just
Urban
the line.
sprawl.
It was just the line, and then a crap ton of wilderness around it.
That's the issue with here. Is
Crazy.
we don't have the room for it. But that's crazy. I could see it going into like a dystopian society. Like it becomes like we kind of talked about it over text a little bit. It's like low class, high class. It just turns into those sort of society where it's just
Who's seen Snowpiercer? 'Cause
Yes,
that's exactly what's going to
exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
even looks like the
exactly.
train.
Hunger Games type
mhm.
stuff. Like there's gonna be districts and like
Yep.
it's
They
a
have,
really
they
cool
have other
idea.
ideas too. They have other ideas too. Like I saw,
Yeah.
I don't know if we all saw the same video or not, but like right at the end of the video, they had like one that was like built into like what would be a lake, but it was kind of like a bowl of the lake. So it was kind of like built into nature, but it was like
So
probably
Atlantis.
self-sustaining somehow. Yeah.
I will say, going back to the ventilation system, while I was in Dubai, we went to Abu Dhabi, which is another crazy ass city. It's more old school, so you get to see the mosques, which, like, my God, the devotion to being like Muslim and Islam, like, in this one mosque, they had a guy 24/7. They have two guys reading the Quran over a microphone without stop. That's it. Just
Wow.
that's their job for their life. It's crazy. And just immaculately
insane.
beautiful, everything capped in gold. But in Abu Dhabi, there's a place called Masdar City, which seems like it'd be a precursor to the line. And you can't drive in it, and it's all these buildings that they started saying we're going to not use carbon to build this city, and then they were like, well, okay, you need to produce carbon to make steel, so now we're going to be carbon neutral. But it's the same concept of everything is very, very close together, with the buildings narrow, so there's natural shade everywhere. And then all over the place, there are these towers that they take in wind from up in the desert, and they funnel it down and cool it into the city streets. And it's genuinely, by passive cooling alone, I think like 15 degrees colder than the surrounding desert. All the buildings have solar panels, and underneath the city is autonomous vehicles that drive you where you want to go. Which I got to ride it. It was sick. Yeah, little tiny like robot
didn't know
cars
that.
that follow these paths. It's nuts. But the line sounds like the next stage in that, which is those Saudis, man. They
don't mess
have
around.
FU money, and they want to spend
Yep.
it.
No kidding. Holy cow! Is
Crazy.
there the rest of you? Do you guys have like any favorite place you visited in the country, in the world, anything like that? I've been to Dubai is awesome. I don't know, that'd be a heck of a trip. I feel like the furthest I've ever been was I went to Budapest. That was really cool, especially kind of in the wintertime when I went. Super unique experience, super cool town. It's just like kind of really Eastern Europe-esque, however you describe that. And Michael, maybe you can go there in the fall whenever you go to, where are you going again?
Slovenia for work, Eastern Europe. I've always wanted to see wartime Europe.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
No, okay, no, it's Slovenia where I'll
It's
be
an
in about.
occupation. Come on.
It's 500 miles from Ukraine, which I do hope things cool down very soon over
You
there.
know that's the distance from me.
That is not far.
Yeah, Michael, that's the
Not far.
distance from me to you guys right now.
Yeah, but I mean,
USA's
they're
big.
not gonna. Well, see, the scary part is for me, not so much that like the 500 miles is a long way to walk or even drive, but I'm gonna be at a place that is a potential target for any invading force, which is a nuclear power plant, because we've seen that yes, they're still operating in the Ukraine, which is a huge Eastern European nuclear power in terms of energy production, not bombs. But the Russians are like shelling the power plants, so that'll be interesting.
Well, let's just hope you'll be fine. Everything will be
Yeah,
fine.
it'll be cool. I mean, worst comes to worst, it's a 3-hour drive to Venice. I'm gonna go see my people. Boopity-boppity-boo.
The wooden
Just
spoon
wooden spoon appears out of nowhere. Incredible.
eats a roll
Gotta
of
keep
cheese.
it close.
Always keep that thing on him.
I'm strapped up.
How long of a airplane ride will that be, Michael? Are you
I have
flying to
no
like
idea.
Europe first? Okay, you got to figure all that out.
I think so.
You'll probably
It's
fly
probably
into a
gonna be
hub and then go from there.
yeah, probably here to New York to probably London or somewhere over there, and then probably some kind of ox cart or bus that's going to take me into Eastern Europe, driven by a nice babushka lady that makes me pierogies. I hope. I am excited though. That's the one thing I think we all love about travel, and everybody that goes places, which I'd hope is a lot of people. Look, and this is for me personally. Yeah, it's cool to see the sights. Like, I want to go see the Empire State Building. Great. But I love finding those hole-in-the-wall places, very low traffic, off the beaten path, because I think that's where you get the most unique experiences. You meet the coolest people. They tell you how it really is. Like,
I'd agree.
you know, I'm always looking for those if I can. But
I'm gonna come at
I also
you.
yeah.
Yes, no, keep
Go
going.
ahead.
Sorry.
I just don't want to get arrested. That's all.
Oh yeah, let's avoid
Yeah.
that. I may be coming in with a hot take. I don't think I have a very strong desire, if at all, to visit New York City. Just too many people. It's too packed. I'm not a big city person. Yeah, it'd be cool to visit for one day. The traffic, the people. I just don't have a strong desire to go. And everyone always tells me, you should go at least once. I'm like, maybe one day. But I just don't know, man.
It's a city. It's a
city.
city,
I feel like
and
it's-
it is. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, I imagine Pittsburgh, then, like, you know, quadruple, duple that, you know, like, it's massive.
Yep. It is
And-
just disgustingly big.
I'll tell you a story. This happened just when Emily and I went up to Maine to visit our niece. So we fly into, if you ever flown into New York City, it's a mess. It seems everything's always under construction in some shape or form. We fly into LaGuardia. We have someone sit next to us. She has a similar gate time, departure time, and she asks the stewardess, she says, "Am I going to make my flight?" The stewardess looks right at her and says, "Oh, honey, you're not going to make it." And Emily's right next to me. She's like freaking out. She's like, "Did you just hear what she said?" I'm like, "We're fine. We're fine." I'm just trying to calm her down. We get off the airplane. and we have, oh jeez, they're like waiting to close the door in about 10-15 minutes. Okay, but we get off the airplane first. Since it's all under construction, we have to go up 10 different ramps, just like a big tower to go. We got to run then to a bus depot, get on a bus, go halfway across the airport, get off that. We go up another big tower ramp, and then we completely book it. Like, I have booked through airports, but I was in a full sprint in like casual boots. Okay, so, and this was terrible. And then we're like halfway to the gate there. Then Emily, we did carry on, so we wouldn't lose our luggage. She says, go without me. Like, I'll catch up. I take her luggage and start bolting through the airport. Then I remember it was another straight shot. We see my sister and brother-in-law were waiting for us at the gate, like holding up the person at the gate, like, they're coming. And they see me just run. I'm like, yes, we made it. And then I'm sitting on the plane. Emily and I were like, like dying. And people probably think, like, looking at us like they got COVID or something. And we're like, it was the worst experience of my life. And for that reason, I never have, but I will never like make fun of people running through an airport unless it's your fault. Like, you know, you got to the airport late or something. It was a heck of an experience. So avoid LaGuardia at all costs. That's my story.
I've heard it's a shithole.
It's
I'm
terrible.
not gonna lie.
I hate it.
That's why I took the train to New York. 9 hours on an Amtrak.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of Amtraks, okay, this is what I want in the
They're
U.S.
super dangerous.
system. I want a high-speed rail system throughout the
too
United
big.
States right
Too
now.
big.
I want it now, okay?
Hyperloop.
Break,
Come on,
seriously.
Elon.
That's my one complaint. I would love to have that. In the U.S. lacks public transportation greatly, at least a variety and accessibility. Sure, they have these hubs of Amtraks in different Chicago, New York, I think like L.A., and then one other place, I think on the East Coast, D.C. And they only go, spider branches out a bit. I'm like, we need that, connection, throughout the whole country. That's what I want. I want it now. So
Supposedly they're talking about doing like a bullet train or something like that between Cleveland and Chicago. It would like get you there in 45 minutes.
they're always talking about stuff, Matt. Do it.
I should have
What I
mentioned
heard-
this in the conspiracy theories episode last time, but someone showed a
check it out.
couple pictures. This was a schizo post, I think, but it was an image of where one of the California wildfires, like the range it spread from, like, space, and then a picture of the proposed high-speed railway system they had, and they lined up, like, kinda okay. And there's also a picture of, like, this beam of light coming down right when a fire is starting from space. So people were like, they have space lasers and they're burning so they can build the trains. And I'm like, that's probably a good way to clear a forest. Like,
Wow,
if you
that
need
is.
to.
Yeah,
I like that
not to go back to
conspiracy.
not to go back to conspiracy theories, but I have seen that is a thing where like a lot of people think that some of like the biggest wildfires have been started by lasers that have been shot from space, like super quick. So it's like, oh, it was some random guy that just accidentally caught the whole state of California on fire.
Gender reveal party.
I would
What,
believe
what
that,
a
honestly.
fucking idiot those people must. The fucking idiots those people must feel like.
Oh yeah, so stupid. I
Yeah.
don't.
care.
Matt, were you talking about
but,
the gender reveal parties or the conspiracists?
The gender
Gender
reveal.
reveal
party.
parties.
Oh.
Yeah, they caught like all of fucking California on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I thought you were
I
talking
thought you
about...
were talking about
Fucking
the
idiots.
conspiracy people.
No,
No, conspiracy people
Okay.
are normal. Absolutely. Thousands.
Oh,
we made an entire podcast about that.
Because we're normal.
We'll have a part two eventually.
Oh my god,
Just-
it's endless.
Kind of going back to what Nathan said, I am on the same page with you about New York.
Really?
Yeah,
Thank you.
like I said, I'm not a city person. I kind of had my whole experience with cities tainted in Denver
Oh, yeah.
after that interaction with the homeless lady.
Do you want to tell us about it?
So it makes it fun.
Sorry, no. So when I was on a road trip with my girlfriend at the time, and fiance now.
Fiance.
And
Cheers.
and we went
I'm
to Denver.
laughing
We
because
were
it's just a funny way to put it. That's all.
yeah.
It wasn't an immediate. My fiance now.
Well, I needed to specify, but
I know, but you did. Never mind.
it sounds like she was an ex. That's why I needed to.
She's still here.
Exactly.
Of course. But yeah, we went to a Rockies game, and
That's
yeah,
super cool.
we're on our way back from the game. We decided we walk there and back because our hotel was only like I think 3/4 of a mile away. So during the day, it was like a 15-minute walk, and then kind of didn't realize like at night the city becomes a completely different place. And as we started walking back, we noticed these tent cities popping up on these roads that we were like there were no tents at all on the way there. And yeah, it was getting pretty sketchy. And then as we started walking farther and farther away from the stadium, there were less and less people walking with us. So it got to the point where we were walking through like a dark alley by ourselves, and people were sparking up like pipes and spoons and just things that are used for not good things. And got to the point where essentially we got chased by a homeless woman because we looked at her and she was throwing things at us. So
It's terrifying.
that 15-minute walk turned into a 5-minute run. So
Hell of a story.
Let's go.
That's terrifying.
my
That's
God.
another issue that this country and really all over the world has is homelessness, but especially here because I don't know, why don't we just take care of them? But that's besides the point.
Well, it's sad
like-
because most of them are like mentally ill.
Yeah,
So it's like these people that are just kind of abandoned.
it is. It's very unfortunate.
I used to work with a guy, and he engineer, but definitely one of those creative types who could have been a photographer and probably I think is pursuing that part-time now. And real cool. We actually went to school with him. Cool guy, great guy. But so he lived out in LA, was very close to going pro photographer, came back because of the money, and now is back out there doing that. But I was asking him one day, I'm like, hey man, like the homelessness, like it's a reason I don't really want to go out there. Like, is it safe? Like, what's it look like? And he said, it's not that people can't afford to live there, which I mean, okay, it's very expensive, obviously, but he's like, it's not like people can't afford to live there. It's people choose to live in these tents and stuff like that. Now, I'm not getting political. I don't know if there's policy that makes that very easy for people to do that if they want to do it. But it just seems like it's getting to the point, like, you know, Brad's story, and then you see on the news all these tent cities and stuff that, like, something has to be done, right? Like, you can't just have once great cities looking like slums. You know what I mean? Like, if there's human waste and needles in the streets, like, come on, America. Like, what's going on
I
here?
have no desire to go into cities just because of that reason. And Emily and I was talking about, like, oh, yeah, like, we have friends live in the city and stuff, and they really like it. We're just like, we have no desire to.
Yeah.
Cities are cool, but that's just one aspect. And that sucks because that's something we should be able to, you know, take care of. Because, you know, money's not real apparently, but, you know, it's a shame.
Mm-hmm.
But
And space is fake.
space
but-
is not real. We did not land on the moon, people.
We faked it on Venus. But no, I definitely agree. You got to travel. You're going to go through places. There are cool cities, so to speak, not quite like American cities. Another place I've been is Havana, Cuba, and that is unlike any other place in the world.
Well, they're
It is
stuck like a few decades back, aren't they?
Oh, in the
Which is
50s.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Oh, but and,
sure
you know,
it's
when I
awesome
was
to see
It's crazy.
No, hear me out. Hear me out.
And it like just
and I'm
opened
gonna-
up like what, like 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, but it's still so. I think they got rid of it, but when I went, they had two currencies. One was called the Kook, the convertible. I don't know. They have two different monies. One of them is controlled by the government, so it's 1-to-1 with the U.S. dollar. Another one is 25-to-1, so it's basically worthless. Literally, I bought something from this guy, and he gave me my change back in like the money that is like worth something, and then he gave me extra. I'm like, oh, you gave me extra. He's like, oh no, these are like, this is our money. It's worthless. Here's a souvenir. I'm like, oh, but in my experience down there, I had the best Cuban pork in my entire life. It brought me to tears. I saw Che Guevara's son, which if that man snapped his fingers, you disappear. So that was cool. And so there's a lady from Brooklyn who runs something called Cuba Libro, which is like Cuba books down there, and it's a book library that it basically, she accepts donations from all over the world, mainly America, books, different like, you know, necessities, condoms, 'cause they can't get them. So, but she was saying that like, okay, you come here as an American, like I did 10 years ago, and you say, look at all the old buildings and look at all the old cars. But she's like, nowadays it's changing so fast. We say, look at all the new buildings and look at all the new cars. Like, wow. It's changing, which is good for the people. I just really hope it maintains some of that old school charm of the 50s, because as cool as Miami might be, you don't want just rows of big high-rise hotels. That would just ruin the vibe, you know?
Yeah.
As long as the people come first, which historically they haven't, because, you know, oppressive dictatorships. But yeah. I digress.
You're not
it's
wrong.
A cool place. Check it out. It's really special. I'd say it's really cool. And the cigars and the rum. Cool. Jesus. Oh.
It goes back to this again. I mean, I have been to, because my daddy works for the airline. So when I was growing up, fun fact, if you're the child of someone who works in an airline, you typically fly for free, you know, up until I was 24, 23, something like that. But he had to do these things called like jump seats, where like he has to go every 2-3 months and just has to sit on a jump seat, like, you know, in front of the airplane and go like on a far away trip. And so what we did, we almost always like went with them, and we made like a whole weekend or, you know, 4 day little trip out of it. So as a kid, I got to go to a lot of different cool places. Jamaica was a really cool place. Been to Hawaii just one time. The Bahamas, you know, Mexico a couple times. But just, it went back to our previous conversation. I remember I was just a kid going to Jamaica. You know, we go from the airport to the resort, right? But like as you're driving in, it's just sporadic and so much like homelessness and like just poverty, like everywhere. Which it's just, it like sucks to see that that's what like that country is, you know, besides their actual resort and like tourism. Because like without that, you know, it's scary. It's weird to think about maybe what they were like 2020 up to like 2021. I think a lot of, you know, locals kind of probably suffered even more than they may have already from the pandemic. But yeah, didn't mean to get a little depressing, but Jamaica's really cool. It's clear water as day. Hawaii is really cool.
My parents are going there in about 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Montego Bay is where I went.
Montego Bay.
Fun fact, I did this a lot when I was a kid. I always forgot to pack something. I forgot to pack swim trunks like a ton of times. So I had to get swim trunks there in Jamaica. So that's like a cool souvenir I had to get.
There you go.
Hawaii was
still have
really
them?
cool. I do. They're the little yellow and some green accented swim trunks that say Jamaica on them. They're cool.
Nice.
I think they still
There you
fit me. Probably not. But aside from that, if you guys have never been to Hawaii, I would highly suggest Hawaii, especially, you know, Ease, because it's, you know, still in the States technically. It was gorgeous. Yeah. Like we got up to go see a volcano and like in the national park some, and it's just really cool. I was too young to really appreciate it enough. Like my parents got me up at like 5 a.m. to go watch the sunrise up on a volcano. My sister and I are like, oh, this is boring as heck. And looking back, thinking back, it's like I wish I would have, appreciated it more.
Right.
And I still have some sand. I have some volcanic sand somewhere.
That's cool.
Somewhere.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But
I love taking little souvenirs.
I-
Don't you have a rock from Normandy Beach, Nathan?
oh shoot, I do. Yeah, fun fact. I've
That's
never been to
cool.
Normandy Beach, but my sister, one of my sisters, she had went there, and that's something she had brought me back, which I thought was like, you think about it, that's like so freaking cool. I maybe that's just me. It's like that's a rock that was on on Normandy Beach, 80 years ago. It's just crazy because rocks, they don't move, they don't change. They change, but geologically. And she also, on that same trip, jumping off that, she also brought me like a coin back from the catacombs under Paris. I think that's where that is.
I think so.
Yeah. think
Yeah,
so.
so that's pretty
Very creepy
neat.
place.
But what?
Very creepy place.
Very creepy place. I feel like that's a good spooky place.
Spoopy.
I
was-
love spoopiness. Sorry.
I was gonna say kind of on the opposite spectrum of Nathan, who's been on probably hundreds of flights. If I
I've
had
been
to take a
flying.
guess.
I think my mom told me I flew my first time probably like 8 months old. And ever since then, I've been flying. Yeah, ever since I was a kid. But Brad,
Yeah, I've never been on a plane before. As
that
you
blows
guys
my
know.
mind. I
Let me take you on your first flight.
there's Jordan the pilot.
No.
It'll be so much fun, man.
I
If
would
you
love to
can
go,
ride-
Jordan.
Yeah, it'd be a blast. If you can ride in a small airplane, big airplanes are nothing.
So even
That's unsettling.
I'm moving on. I'm moving on. Even though I have not been on a plane before, that has still not stopped me from attempting to travel quite a bit. I've driven to Florida and back numerous times. I've driven to California and back twice.
Oof.
I think my favorite place I've ever been is Grand Tetons National Park in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Again, not a big city person, so the national parks are just such a cool like escape for me. The Tetons is just like nothing else I've ever seen before. There's so much wildlife, and it looks fake. It's so cool.
That's amazing. That's like in the States, the one place I really want to go, not internationally, but if I had to pick in the States, it's like out west. Because like I went to Seattle, but I just flew right over it. And there's so much to see.
I think traveling abroad is awesome, and I think that everyone should eventually do it. But before you do, if you live in the States, you need to travel through your own country because there's so much here that is so cool, and it would be a shame to miss out on all that stuff.
I think I did it in reverse. My first time past the Mississippi River was this year.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. I had never gone. Actually, wait, that's not true. It would be last year when I went to Texas. Also, my
right?
first time
Yeah.
in Texas. Yeah. But then I guess the furthest west I've ever been was to Utah. Flew into Salt Lake, and then my friends and Julia's friend Logan and Stephanie. They actually live in Logan, Utah, so that's funny. But it just crazy different because they obviously had made friends over there, and I love talking to other people from different places. So all their friends are ex-Mormons. We actually met a guy by Logan has a really, really tuned up fast car, and we met a guy street racing home from skiing one day, and we got his number through the window, texted him. This dude actually came over, and he was super cool. Like, it was just nuts,
That's funny.
But anyway, all of his friends were ex-Mormons, so they were telling us like kind of about the Mormon faith and stuff, and it's different out there. Like, the first bar opened in their town this year. Like crazy stuff, and but they don't have Amish people. So we're from Pennsylvania and Ohio, And they were like, "What's an Amish person?" And we're talking. I'm like, "Oh, okay, get this."
Get this.
The best technology was the 1840s, and that's it. Everything else is blasphemy. No, but like it was really cool to see like just how different the cultures are and stuff like that, even in your own country. Like, you know, a 5-hour plane ride and you're just in a different world. Not to mention the absolute beauty of the West, like you guys were saying, the mountains, the sunset. It's 40 and it's snowing somehow. Oh my God. Maybe I was just, you know, super had altitude sickness, but it was wild. It was so much fun. So we'll be going back at some point, hopefully, to the West.
There's just so much natural beauty out there. Like, and you don't realize how different the lifestyles are of people that live out there compared to us out east. Like, it's just such an active lifestyle compared to us. Like, even if you're a super active person and you get outside a lot, just like the day-to-day activities that they do is so different. Like rock climbing, mountain biking, snowboarding, like hiking. Like you don't do as much of that out here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
More mellow because the Appalachian mountain range is quite old and not very tall.
Okay. I love the Smoky Mountains, man. They're gorgeous. But I agree. They're probably. I haven't seen the West out in person. I'm sure it's incredible.
And the people out there are so nice too, because like it's just nice there all the time. They're all active, not as depressed. Like it's
the Northeast, man. People are so uptight sometimes in the Northeast. Everyone's just cranky because it's snowing or it's cold.
It probably also helps that they're all high all the time. But
that's a good point. I have a question. So if you guys could pick between a trip, would you take a trip to the beach or would you take a trip to the mountains? And why?
What beach?
The beach.
Whichever beach you like.
Well, okay, now hold on. Ocean City, New Jersey is not the same as Barbados. Like, come on now.
You said anyone that you want.
Your
so
ideal
Barbados.
beach, ideal mountains.
Okay.
What you choosing?
Beach, 100%.
That's what I thought Matt would say. Matt loves the beach.
I'm fucking living in Florida. What?
Yeah, you are.
it's tough. It depends on the time of year, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, fall in the mountains is pretty nice.
This time of year, like I already came back from vacation in Florida. I already got to experience that super sticky heat, and now I'm like in that fall mode where just like flannels, hiking. Like I would be all for the mountains, like mountain man time.
You ever been to Cabo?
I'm about that.
I don't know. Cabo's pretty nice in the winter.
I'm about that. So this is the thing. So I moved down to Florida. It's August 15th today. I moved down here about 6 weeks ago, more like 7. And yeah, it's really hot and it's really humid. But I've told myself just about every time, and I stopped doing it eventually. I was like, so it's like this is the worst the weather gets is right now. And so it's like this is the worst that Florida has to offer, and it's just really hot. Versus the worst that Ohio has to offer is February.
Oh God,
and it's gross, and you have to clean your car off of snow for the 3rd time this week, and it's gray for the 17th day in a row. And so I have to think that that's really better than any mountain stuff that you're gonna get. That's just my opinion, though. I really like fall stuff and flannels and bonfires and
can't beat it.
I will.
Like, fall beer and stuff like that, and football on a crisp fall day. But I think I'll be all right watching football in shorts and a t-shirt and sandals.
I'm gonna pick. You make great points, but you're thinking more of a lifestyle. I'm talking more of just a trip. So I think I'm gonna pick the serenity of like the mountains, the peace and quiet, and just nature in general. Of like, take me to the mountains, for a week rather than a beach. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in that. The beach has so much to offer too, but because I love swimming in the ocean, but I just love, like, I can camp, I can sit by a fire, I can go on a hike, just enjoy.
Just like disconnect too.
Disconnect.
I mean,
that's
like,
a great way
that's
to say it.
that's the best part of it.
Yeah. What about the rest of you guys? Beach?
I've been
Mountains?
on a couple trips down south. I've seen a couple of beaches. I've never really got to go out west and really go fishing and hiking and all the mountains and stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's all the things I'd love to take a fishing trip out in the mountains. So that's probably what I'd pick right now.
Go out on a lake in Colorado.
And then go skiing the next weekend or something. That'd be crazy.
Oh my god. Yo,
That'd be sweet.
can I say that skiing in the East, as much as I love it and I learned here,
It sucks.
you go to Park City one time and here it's just ruined.
It's
It sucks,
shit.
man. Dude, more than half of the mountain that Park City was closed when I went. I might have done 6 runs. It took 6 hours. Each run is 45 to an hour long, and then you have to
Wow.
get on multiple. And the view. It's like you're just skiing through just unlike anything I've ever seen. It's incredible. But I think I'd have to go, as much as I love the beach, mountains as well.
Wow.
I really don't let my tan fool you.
The Guido.
I mean, the Guidos.
New Jersey.
I don't know. Like, I kind of want to go out west. Well, okay, my camp is always very special. My grandfather's cabin, and we're all going back there very soon, hopefully, or most of us.
Great place.
But that kind of just, and especially because, like, I don't live in the city, none of us really do, but it's just, suburbs out here. Getting out there, it just gets you away from all that traffic and crap. You can do whatever you want, have a fire, go shooting, go fishing, go hiking, whatever. But I think a trip to the mountains like that would be cool, but I also really, 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 I don't want to sound like Joe Rogan, but I do want to go elk hunting in Colorado or something. That would be sick. Like, you pay a
That'd be so
$700. I want to experience that, just like wilderness. Like, I'm out here camping. I need to go get my food. And there it is, walking across the field. Like, oh, that'd be sick. I want to try it. But yeah, mountains. That'd be awesome.
Kudos. Yeah. Jordan.
Yeah.
I answered already.
Did you say mountains? Yeah, you did. Yep.
Yeah. But I've also never been outside of USA, so if I went to a beach, I'd probably pick somewhere quite far away.
Oh, okay. So give me your give me your one spot you like to go outside of the US today. Tomorrow.
I really want to go to Spain. See FC Barcelona play. They have a lot of like yacht parties out there. I've always just wanted to go like peruse some yachts, even though I'm never going to buy one or own anything close to that.
Michael, it's the implication.
It is the implication.
Carry on.
Maybe somewhere in the Caribbean, not the Caribbean. Sorry, somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea.
Yeah.
If not Spain.
Madrid is really cool. My sister lives there. She has for 4 years now. She loves it. We'd love to go visit her again, but it's just kind of like the same thing we talked about, not to go back into lifestyle, but they have such a different way of life. Like, their thing is almost like work is not life. Life is not work. Like, they have this strict kind of separation with work and play. Because they don't let kind of work control their lives. Whereas I think a lot of people in the U.S., that's kind of drives them. But it's just a different perspective.
Must be freaking nice. No.
How about the rest of you guys? Where do you want to go in the world?
So
Honestly,
if I had to pick, go ahead.
Matt,
Greg.
you go. Nope.
All right. So if I had to pick like an experience, so I would, if I had to go to like one place, I would go to Amsterdam probably. It's just, like the red light district. It's supposed to be, a fun time. It's well, the whole thing. It's just supposed to be an experience. But
Describe what the red light district is.
I've heard a lot of things.
Sounds real
I've
fun,
heard a
though.
lot of things.
Sounds like there'd be a lot of traffic there if the lights are always red. Ah.
But
Can we kick people?
I've heard a lot of really interesting things. I'd like to go to London and then, or like Madrid, Barcelona, something like that. But an experience that I would like and I'm going to get at some point in the next few years is going to my second favorite sports team probably right now is behind the Browns is probably Liverpool Football Club. And so I really want to go to a game and sit in the bleachers. They call it the Cop. So I would really like to do that.
that'd be
really, really cool.
Hell of an
So
experience.
that if I was choosing an experience, it'd be that. But there are a bunch of places that I actually think me and Quinn are probably going to go and travel to maybe this coming summer. I don't know. We're going to see. It's going to be fun.
That's super
Matt, I still want you to tell us what the red light district is.
I've heard there's a lot of drugs and yeah,
lot of
that's
women.
basically there's nothing that is like
Actually,
you can't kill
Hookers and
anybody. But
blow.
yeah, outside of that, it's like pretty much everything's legal. So
yeah, actually, hookers are the only women that are there.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't
There's
know that.
men, like literally, women are not allowed in the red light district.
Oh, okay. Well,
aren't
then
they-
maybe
aren't there
I'm
people just,
thinking of
like-
something else?
Aren't there just like females like in like store windows just like
Yep.
dancing and you're like, yeah, I want that
what I'm
one.
You,
thinking.
like-
Then I'm
Yeah,
I'm more going like the like have a nice trip type of deal. That's kind of yeah.
You could find it, I'm sure.
Right.
Not for money, of course.
no,
we
but-
don't. Yeah.
but yeah, so very interesting place for sure.
One more thing. You guys know where I really want to go and I have no idea where it's at?
Where's that?
You know the old Windows screensaver with the grassy hill?
Yes. Yeah.
I really want to go there.
It's a real place.
That is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
sure
a
it
real
is.
picture. I saw someone
actually
post
don't
a
think it's that
comparison
exciting.
of it. Of today, it's much.
Just want to
different
lay down
today.
in that field.
Or just some like
That'd be nice.
I don't even know what to call it, like Nordic or like European
Norse.
fields. Like I don't know. I
Like
have this
like,
picture
you
in my
wanna
head
go-
of just seeing like
You want to go to
like
like,
a
the
hit-
coast of Ireland, basically, or are you talking?
yeah, it was something like that. I just have a picture in my head of like a Halo map where it was just like hills just going into a giant mountain. And I feel like the closest place to that is somewhere out in Europe.
Nathan, I need you to Photoshop his head onto The Sound of Music when she's in the fields in the European hills. Singing "The Hills Are Alive." Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Or like
Oh.
Iceland or like somewhere cold. That'd be cool too.
That'd be cool.
Oh,
I've
I've
heard
heard-
Iceland is nuts.
I've heard Iceland's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
I wish I
like
was
that's
part
it's like one of the
Viking.
most. I've heard Iceland is like one of the most surreal places. Like they have some of the craziest combination of like biomes there, where
Yeah.
it'll just go from like this. I don't even know how to describe it. Like just waterfalls everywhere to like volcanic like beds and everything. I don't
Yeah.
know. It just seems insane.
Nuts.
But
Oh, if I any place in the world that I haven't been, I really want to go to Germany because I would love to see, as tragic and as horrible as it is, I would love to go and visit the concentration camps. Dachau. I forget the other one, but there's a couple, around Germany in that area. Actually, no, some are in Austria, actually, but they're all really close together, because Europe. Another place is I'd love to go to Japan, just because I think their society and kind of
They would be
it
terrified
would
of
just be
you.
so cool. yeah.
You would look down on everyone.
I never thought about that. It's a really pale white blonde dude in Japan. Take me to Tokyo.
Who is 6'4"?
I never thought about the height
That'd
thing.
be cool.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And then a couple others would be Australia, and then
Yeah.
South Korea. Seoul would be really cool. So
That'd be cool.
I was you'd mentioned mine. I think I would want to go to Japan, or I'm not so much China anymore. China's getting kind of scary.
Oh, you don't want to disappear?
What was that?
So you don't want to disappear?
Not really. I mean,
Yeah.
What was that?
Continue. No, I was gonna say like the Chinese people, they've been in like living in just horrible conditions for the last
yeah.
ever.
Mhm.
So
I think like
Yeah.
some of like the natural like there's just some crazy like national parks in China. But then
it
also
would be awesome.
I think Japan is just so cool looking. Like
Yeah.
those are cities that I actually wouldn't mind going to just because they all look so like colorful and fun and like I don't know, it just looks like a cartoon.
I better
And-
jump into a real life anime.
Seriously.
To watch anime in Japan would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, like, so to visit those cities, and then also like, the nature, like, in Japan looks awesome too.
I agree with that, and then also kind of the historical culture of it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it would just be so cool to see like their history, like kind of right in front
Mm-hmm.
of you, because all of that is still right intact.
Yeah, because I mean, like, that's still such a huge part of their everyday
History, yeah, so-
culture and
yeah.
everything. It is really
Seems
cool.
like they have a huge tendency to be like still. I mean, obviously, I mean, I'm sure Tokyo and some of these major cities are very futuristic looking now, but like the family culture is still in the same where all their families live close together. You know what I mean? Like in the same household. Sometimes that's cool. I traveled with this girl named Yuka when we went to Dubai from
remember her.
Japan.
She was cool.
Yeah, she was really cool. And she was the only one that was 21, so we'd all like have to be looking at buildings, and she was out like having a time. But anyway, so we were asking her all about Japan, and she was like, so somehow religion came up, and she was like, we don't have like God, we don't have gods, but everything has like a spirit in it in a kind of way, which is like a really cool perspective on it. So like, before I go and cut this tree down, let's think about like the spirit that allowed this tree to grow here. So I think that's the way she put it. Yeah, it was really interesting. Like I love all the different like just
So
belief
different,
systems
yeah.
that people have. Yeah. Or when I went to Peru one time, and like we had to bless the ground before we like dug into it when we built this like kitchen thing there. That was really unique because Christianity and Incan religion, like it all like came together. So they have like, it's just nuts. It's different, but it's cool. Like I love how when people started spreading out all over the world and living in certain places, and you know what I mean, like just all that. It's crazy.
It is
But-
so weird to just how different, you know. Like you guys said, you go 500 miles that way, it can be different from here. So it's just kind of crazy.
His name's Joshua Zachary.
Very special.
It was crazy.
I don't know if you guys have ever been on one. Have you ever been on a cruise, or would you ever have any desire to?
I've been on one. It was okay.
How about
I
you
liked
both?
it.
You both tell us your thoughts, experiences.
So I like the aspect of all you can eat and drink.
That's
It's a big deal.
Pretty solid.
When you're on the boat, there's stuff to do, but at the same time, it's kind of like you do kind of just want to like get off the boat at some point. Like there's always that like uneasy feeling where it's like
yeah.
you just start swaying and you're like, I might go overboard at any time, but because it just doesn't make sense that something that big can float.
Buoyancy.
Displacement.
I understand, but no. But when we did stop, some of the places that we stopped were awesome.
Where
we
did
went
you
to
go?
the Caribbean.
Like- oh, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, one of my favorite experiences traveling was just going down to the Caribbean and snorkeling in some of like the coral reefs. I had a GoPro and I could have spent all day out there. I mean, the boat like I would have been okay with the boat leaving me. Like just being able to like see these different like creatures like swimming around and just exploring this like literally whole new world. It was one of the coolest things ever.
Under the sea. No, but literally,
So, yeah.
like, snorkeling is really cool. I haven't been in so long. I think the last time I went was sometime in Mexico when I was just a kid. And I saw like it was some like shipwreck or something. You saw like a sea turtle and a bunch of other
sick.
animals.
Yeah, I forgot there was a there was a,
No, that was dope.
biplane. There was a biplane that was crashed,
Oh,
and
that's
there
cool.
was a ship, and you were allowed to like go down and like I took some videos like around it and everything, and got to see. I think I saw a flounder, stingray, a barracuda,
Ooh,
sea urchins. Like, I mean,
That's cool.
just so many
That's
cool
so
things.
cool.
Barracudas are
Awesome.
real motherfuckers.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, they are.
I've told
R.I.P.
everybody
Steve
about
Irwin.
the time that I swam with like 20 sharks ish.
Tell us about
I've
it.
told that.
No.
I don't think I've told
That's
it on the
nuts. I don't think you-
podcast. But
I
I
don't
haven't-
know if I've ever heard this.
I think
Wait,
you
really?
mentioned it.
So, and I was gonna bring this up earlier is like I think that I didn't get to say it, but one of my favorite places that I've been, and unfortunately it wasn't with my family or really a lot of people that I cared about at all, but was Eleuthera in the Bahamas. So it's like you have to go to Nassau, and there's one plane in the morning, and then they also fly, or they like fly out. I don't know. You can get in the morning or at night. There's two flights. That's really the only way to get there. It's like this really long, stringy island. Like there's no hospitals or like really much. There's not a lot to do, but like sit around on the beach and stuff. But like I was there for school because there's a school on the island. But basically, so it's very secluded. It's really nice. But it's yeah. So it would be a great place to go for a vacation too.
Yeah.
But. So one of the days we were like helping with their shark research stuff, and for whatever reason I was like actually helping, and then we came in for the day, but then these people were like, oh, like there are a bunch of like sharks at this place, and they asked if we wanted to go like snorkel with them because they were going to go and see all the sharks. And so me and a bunch of the other students, they were like, it's your free time, like you can come or you don't have to come, like we'll probably be back around dinner time. So we were like, hell yeah, like let's go.
do it.
So we got to, so I swam with like, it was like 15 or 20 like reef sharks. They were all like 6
Wow.
feet long ish. It was really, really cool.
That's so cool.
And then there was also one hammerhead shark too.
Ooh.
That's
That was
terrifying.
like
That's
13
awesome.
feet. Yeah. I actually didn't see it. Supposedly it was like in the water. It was just like, so there was the boat
I'd
and
much
then there
rather
was like,
see it than not see it.
there was the boat and then like this is like land. And so there's like this big alcove and we had went snorkeling there before. And that's where all the sharks were for whatever reason. We don't really know why. And then so the boat was here and then like the hammerhead shark was like over here. It was like
That's
13 or
insane.
14 feet.
That's
And then
dope.
like the person, so we actually had to leave, like we would have stayed for longer, but like the person who was in charge of us was like, we need to leave because the shark research team was like, they started yelling to them, they're like, we're gonna start chumming the waters because they wanted to like see more sharks, and it was like right around feeding time for them.
Oh, yeah,
because it was
evening.
like right at sunset ish.
Yeah.
So they were like, we need to leave.
That's awesome.
So-
That's so
really
cool.
cool.
That's like one of my. I was telling him that's one thing I want to do. I want to go to like the south tip of Africa or Australia and go see a great white in the water.
Yeah, that'd be.
That would
Watch
be
them
nuts.
breach the water, jump up
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
South Africa would be crazy.
It would be nuts.
I also want to swim with a whale shark.
That'd be really
cool.
monster. Just freaking
Yeah.
beast in the
I have a
water.
question.
How about a killer whale?
I have a
I'm, I'm terrified of killer whales.
know
These
you
are
are.
way too smart. They're way too fucking big. I saw a video on Instagram today of a beached one, and it just put their size in perspective. Because when you look in the water, they saved it. The comment said they saved it. Who actually knows? But
Thank you.
when you look at them in the water, they look like the size of a great white.
They're
Shark.
bigger, right?
They're much bigger. Like I saw when it was outside of water, I was like, okay, that thing's fucking massive.
Oh,
You know, all the
they
other
are
whales-
terrifying.
The only time they kill humans though is when they're in captivity, is from what
Yeah.
I've heard. And like they get messed up, and then like they're playing with their captor, like their trainers, whatever, and they drown them accidentally or whatever. But
Yeah.
still, they're way too fucking smart for me to be swimming with them.
Let's go find one. Let's go.
I've actually I've had nightmares about
Should
it.
be one in Lake Erie, I think.
Well, yeah. You know,
Who knows what's
Wait.
in Lake Erie?
our orca, the Loch Ness monster, probably. No, that's in
Brad froze again.
Loch Ness. What's he looking at?
I don't know. He looks happy.
Okay,
though.
Brad.
Hi.
Hi. Do you think this might get a little bit out there, but I think we've definitely touched on a number of like really cool destinations.
For sure.
But those are places that are, you could probably get there within 24 to 36 hours of on an airplane. Now let's talk about places that are a little harder to get to.
The moon.
Antarctica, some kind of like eventually maybe some undersea type base thing, and also space tourism because that's going to be huge.
Oh.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, okay. Once like the shock and awe that like, oh, you're on Mars. Once that wears off, you're just on like a
nothing to
rock
see.
with no air. Like, no, okay, maybe not though, because Mars has the deepest canyon and the tallest mountain in the solar system.
Okay, it's a bunch
By
of red
far.
dirt. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
There's water there.
Would you go?
Okay,
Would
here
you
we go. Back to
Oh
this.
yeah.
We're flashing
I'd
it
go.
back to the unknowns of the ocean and space. You going underwater to a city, or you going
Atlantis.
to Mars? Yeah, I'm going to
Mars.
Atlantis. I'm going to Atlantis.
Mars.
I think we had this conversation.
Oh, I said yeah. It's a flashback
Oh,
okay.
to our previous episode.
Okay, sorry. I just froze again,
I think
so I didn't hear that.
It's okay.
Well, okay. But to change it up just slightly. All right. Okay, you're going to an undersea city, so to speak, where it's already well established and there's like people live underwater now, like the Jonas Brothers said. Or you're going to Mars,
Year 3000.
and Elon is the space king, and he's up there in a city on Mars. So there's like you're not gonna die. You're not the first. It's like a destination. Which one would you go to?
I'm going
Mars.
underwater.
It's space travel. You know how freaking cool that. I think even if you said it was a one-way trip and
I'm gonna go
established in
see a
the-
megalodon.
Yeah, okay. I've lived on Earth for 26 years now. I'm ready to move.
Ready
No,
to
we can-
move.
So why Mars, Jordan?
Oh, I was saying you could even say like it was like they could pay me like $1 million or probably way more than that, and say like you're one of the first. You're gonna be the person who flies us around on Mars. Like that's why we need you or whatever. It's just my own headcanon. But you can't come back.
Oh,
Just like to colonize. And I'd honestly probably be pretty open to it. That'd
Okay,
be
but
nuts.
Jordan, if they pay you $1 million, what good is money on a dead rock floating in space? There's no Amazon deliveries to Mars, like.
What I was thinking was like I'd be well set up in the new colony. Like everyone would be well set up because you're colonizing Mars, so that doesn't.
Yeah,
make
and then
any-
you get
Well, I mean,
Kamehameha
anything-
by a dust storm. Like,
it's just like I feel like you go to visit a city on Mars. It just becomes it's Pittsburgh on Mars. You know, like when they're underwater, I can go see more creatures. I can ride around in a little submarine, and kudos to the space. You can probably get in a spacecraft and probably fly around, which would be sick. So it's just it's a toss up. I'm going underwater because I want to see more creatures. I think it'd be really cool to pretty much. You could even like swim where you need to go, but you could be in like an apparatus where you can just like
It's gonna be real dark.
scooter yourself around. Okay, well everything's lit up in this society, and it says
Yeah,
it doesn't say it's going to be in the Marietta Trench. You know, like it could be just underwater.
3 feet off the edge of Florida.
Okay, I may pick space on that one.
oh, I'm sorry can I interject real quick? Have
Yeah.
you heard about those? It's like a nomadic tribe of people, and they don't live on land. They have these structures that are built. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. This is the coolest fucking thing ever. They have these structures that are built like these little huts that are in this like bay area. They never they rarely go on land. And they're starting to evolve, like, they can hold their breath extremely long, they can see incredibly clear underwater, and they have, like, a marine-based existence. I swear to God, those people exist. It's like a tribe
Yeah,
of people.
he's
That's
right there.
pretty sick.
Oh my God, that's so cool, but okay. that movie is so cheesy.
Well,
I love that movie.
it is good, but it's so cheesy.
okay, Michael, would you rather go to Florida, the very southern tip of Florida, in July, in the peak heat and humidity,
Okay.
or would you rather take a
Okay.
boat trip to North Sentinel Island?
North Sentinel Island for sure. Those people are probably nicer.
They're dope as hell, man.
They're probably all dead
I'm gonna
now.
be the one to convert them. Everyone else has failed.
Michael
Okay,
says,
hear me out.
E. And they go, he's a
I'm
god!
probably
I have found my people.
in their script. I'll just show them fire, and then boom, we're in. Like I am literally
they have fire.
Prometheus.
I just think it'd be crazy if someone showed up to that island with like riot gear and a machine gun and see what would happen.
Dude,
Not
they-
like
I mean,
not murder them, but just like walk up and be like, and see if they're just like
Russian.
If they,
Oh
oh
my god,
scared as hell.
I mean, oh my god. I mean, maybe.
That'd be
It's
terrifying.
just like
That's
it's
a
one of
nightmare
the
to them.
one of the barstool things that I've been seeing recently. They'll like do the ask the internet stuff. The comedians
Oh yeah.
is they started asking people if you had a fully charged iPhone and you got thrown into like right at the peak of the Roman Empire, like would you be able to take over the world by the time the battery died?
You know, I've
question.
often, because like we can talk about time travel, right? So obviously, when you're time traveling, you have a time machine to go back wherever. So people always say, "Oh, I'm going to go back to the 1200s and I'm going to show them a light bulb," you know, or like something that we have today, like a
stuck there.
smartphone. Well, no, but hear me out. So you time travel back then, and you show them this iPhone, and all the people after they stop worshiping you as some kind of demon, they wouldn't they stop and say like, "Hey, like, yeah, your light bulb, that's pretty cool. Is that a time machine over there?" Like, you know what I mean? Even they, I think, would know. Like, one thing is a lot more crazy than the other.
Okay.
You know, I think a Baja would kill a peasant from the 1200s, though.
14th century Europe. Just give them a Baja and it cures them of the Black Plague.
That's the answer.
Oh, that's awesome.
Time travel would be
Well,
cool.
So there is one thing we haven't talked about with
Yeah.
travel, and it's like forms of travel. Because I kind of wanted to talk about. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about like people who like take first class trips on a bunch of different things, but I really, really want to go on a really nice first class train trip, like a
oh yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be cool.
16-hour your own
That'd
cabin
be really
suite.
cool.
Go to the bar cart.
Be like Harry
glass
Potter.
roofs. Yeah, like I think that would be amazing.
I agree. I think
dope.
that'd be really
be
cool
sick.
because like I was actually just like looking up, you know, part of Amtrak to see what they're, you know, a little bit about, where do they go and all that. And it's like I didn't look into full detail kind of what their first class was, but it'd be really cool to see like a, you know, next generational kind of like modern technology filled like first class, like bullet train basically.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, like how the first class flights are you see on like some of the Saudi airlines, like they're stupid. Emirates, I think is that the name of one?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Emirates.
I've been on an Emirates plane, and I will say, holy fuck, man! It is
It's a big plane.
You're comfortable.
Do you go on
You're-
like the triple decker?
I didn't see that. I was
Okay.
on. It was a big plane. I think it was like a 747, so it has like not double decker, but like it has that hump in the front.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
there's like an upstairs, but only for a little bit. I can get into detail, and there's videos, but I won't for the sake of time here. But I just got to say, like, it is immaculate. Like,
Where
you're
did you
in
fly out of?
Boston Logan Airport. It brings you to tears, man. Their midnight snack was a full pizza, like, and that was after dinner
That's
and
so
lunch.
cool.
As soon as you get over the ocean, it's free alcohol, all you want. They have TVs in the back of every thing. On the roof of the plane, the ceiling, there are LED lights that they try to trick your body into not being jet lagged by, like, let's say I get on the plane at noon. All the lights are bright yellow, like it's noon. And then as you're flying and as the time for you is changing, it starts getting darker, like the sun is setting. And then at nighttime, the entire roof of the plane is lit up with LED stars. It's just like nuts. Wow. Nuts. It is insane. So cool. And I was in like the back, like economy broke as fuck area, and they still treat you like a king.
That's so cool. I want to take a flight on one of those, like a first class flight.
Dude, the first class suites on those things are crazy. Like you have a full bed, like pretty much a closet, a 30-inch TV. You get to take a shower.
Yeah. I think I've seen like Jordan. Have you watched like some of those YouTubers that like they've been given a ticket to like basically document it.
DC Neistat.
Yeah. And it's just insane, some of the like the setups, and it's like if I have FU money and I can take a first class, I need to go somewhere in that sort of setup. That's sick. But how much of a ticket? That'd be what, like I don't know, like
$20,000.
Yeah, something like that. Crazy. But if it's like a 20-hour flight,
$1,000 an hour.
That's a gross way to look at it, but
for a bed, some food.
I wouldn't even mind traveling in style, even if it was slower. And I've always wanted to do this, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I hope it does. And I'm going to say this right now, first time ever on the MOBcast. Bring back Zeppelins. I want to fly in an airship.
All right, Indiana Jones.
There's a reason why those don't come back.
Filled with helium. It's inert, not hydrogen. Or like a hot air balloon, like just burning gas to make heat.
You see the Indiana Jones movie when he's on one. It's pretty cool. Like it looks pretty classy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get to your destination much slower. Because I feel like I kind of agree with you. It's like it's about the journey. I feel like if you're on like one of those, right? Same way with a train. Like I feel like when you fly, everything is always so chaotic until you like sit down in your seat and you're like, okay, it's an hour and a half flight, even longer maybe. But then after that, I just feel like flying is always so stressful sometimes. Whereas, you take a train, I feel like, all right, I'm just gonna chill.
Relax.
Yeah. Chill for 5 hours. I can sleep. I can do whatever. So
instead of Zeppelins, I think we need to bring the Concorde back.
Oh,
Concorde
that'd be sick.
Was a badass plane back in the day that flew faster than the speed of sound and could go from New York to like London in like 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I would love to ride one of those things. But there's probably reasons why it doesn't.
Let's just bring back. What else can we bring back?
Actually, I saw like a concept art for like a hot air balloon type passenger plane the other day. It looked absurd. One thing they do want to do with planes though is probably in like Emirates or something like that. Instead of having windows, it's just going to be LED screens all around you. Like the entire wall is an LED screen, so when you look at it, it's what's outside, just like on a TV screen.
Oh, so like you can almost like just see around you.
Yeah,
it's like the sky and everything.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Basically, like a hologram in the sky, or like a. That's basically augmented reality, but like real. You don't have to wear something.
That's probably like way down the road, futuristic, if it ever actually happens.
That'd be really cool.
You ever seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? I want the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car. It's just up and down and underneath. It goes through everything. That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool. Well, guys, this has been a great chat on all things travel. And this has been the MOBcast. Nathan, Michael,
Episode
Brad,
12.
Jordan, and Matt. This has been a great time, guys. Great talking with you all. Episode 12.
What's that sound? What's that sound? It's the MOBcast.
How we doing? How we doing?
Put that smaller one under in front of you.
Hi.